Going back to Japan for me is like something that is way overdue. We first went like 3 years ago. Even though we was there for 10 days, we barely scraped the surface of all the stuff that I wanted to check out. So this time I wanted to make it a lot more about the toy hunting. I'm a big time toy collector. I've been all over the world and checked out some of the sickest shops. But in my opinion, the best place to look for the stuff that I want to find is in Tokyo, Japan. The stuff that I'm looking for is like vintage vinyl kaiju, the monsters from the old Japanese TV shows and the old monster movies. Anything cool looking, anything colourful and monstrous, mutant shit, all the vintage stuff. I love the robots in the boxes with the crazy artwork. So that's all the kind of stuff that I'm going to be looking for in Japan. But don't get me wrong, there's going to be other things when I'm out there that I'm looking for that just jump out at me. And I didn't even know I wanted it, but now I need it in my life. We land and straight away, like, I'm not wasting any time. I want to go check out some toy shops. And lucky for me, we're staying in Akihabara. Akihabara is like the mecca for otaku culture. Otaku is the Japanese word for, it means like geek or nerd or someone that's just a fanatic of like comics, anime, movies, kaiju and toy collecting and that kind of thing. So this is like the go-to spot in Tokyo if you're looking for that kind of stuff, which obviously I am always. The first shop that I want to check out is one that I went to 3 years ago when we first visited, and it's called Jungle. There's a few Jungle shops in Japan. This is my favourite one because it was the last time I went, it was full of vinyl kaiju and Sofubi. Again, when I'm referring to vinyl kaiju, I'm talking about the monsters from Japanese TV shows and movies made as like kids vinyl toys. And to be honest, they're very simple, and to the naked eye they might look cheap and look like something that's not like worth a lot of money or something that's not even got much collectible value. But you'd be very, very wrong. There's a huge market for these things, and I'm a big time collector of them. So they're one of the main things that I'm looking for in Japan. And lucky for me, I know that this shop Jungle has a shitload of them. And when I went 3 years ago, the shop was just stocked floor to ceiling. I'd never seen nothing like it. So that's the place that I headed to as soon as we landed. I go into this shop, and straight away the smell of vinyl just hits me, and it's euphoric to me. And I know that I'm in the right place. Jungle is not very big. It's not the biggest store. It just specialises in vintage toys and airsoft. So it's got lots of cool guns and things in there, and not just Japanese toys. It's got a lot of American stuff as well. So I was quite surprised. Two of the three pickups that I get from there straight away are 3 American toys. I get a vintage RoboCop from the series, a Terminator 2 endoskeleton, and I also get Corporal Hicks versus the Alien, the Kenner 12-inch line, which in England I've seen people putting like £80 plus on them at toy fairs, and these guys were selling them for like £9 each. So straight away they got swiped. And it's funny, like I see them, and then I also find this huge Ultraman City Battle playset. Nah, straight away I want it, I pick it up, and I'm just like, it's like less than 30 quid, and I need it in my life. I don't know how I'm gonna get it home because the box is massive, but I'll deal with that shit later. So I've been in Japan like an hour and a half, and I've already bought 4 massive things. And Claudia's like thinking, how the hell are you going to get this back home? How is that going to fit in the suitcase? I'm just like, we'll just deal with it later. I'll pay for extra luggage or whatever. I kind of knew in advance I was going to come home with a lot of stuff. So I'd purposely saved up a lot of money and sold some of my collection so that I had a nice wad of cash to cover buying and also getting it back home, which is very important, because it's all right buying all this stuff, but then you've got to get it back to England and you've got to get it there safely so it's not getting damaged on the way home. Then I see a nice kaiju antler from Ultraman, a nice orange one in the bag, a sick vinyl toy, so that's coming on with me. And I pick up some other little bits. The shop's just full. The shop's full of cool stuff. It's not as full as it was when I came 3 years ago, but that's not saying much compared to the amount of stuff that they've got inside this shop. And the shops in Japan, they're like CEX or SEX or KEX or whatever you call them shops in England, where people buy and sell and trade in their old games and DVDs. In Japan, they have these shops where people just trade in their old vintage toys, so that the stock at these places is constantly turned over. The second place that I wanted to check out, I think it was day 2 or 3, was Mandarake and Akihabara.
We're staying just a few minutes walk from one of the biggest kaiju shops in Tokyo, and this is my first time of going into it, so I'm looking forward to see what I come out with. It's going to be good.
Again, it's like CEX that we have in England, but these are big. Jungle is 1 floor. Mandarake is 7 floors, and you can see the building from afar. So from our hotel room, you can see the top of the Mandarake building. And I'd not been here before, but I'd seen a lot of pictures and videos online, so I knew that I was in for something special. So I get to Mandarake. The first thing I see when I walk into this building is a bunch of vintage robots, like high-end stuff. I mean, I pride myself on picking up bargains. The majority of my collection I've sourced and hunted and picked up and got for a good price. But every now and again I like to dump a bit of cash on something that I know is quite a high-end item. And as soon as I walk in Mandarake, there's a cabinet full of vintage robots and Kamen Rider and stuff like that, and I know that this is a place that's gonna really give my wallet a fucking pounding. We go upstairs. It's the top 2 floors that really cover the kind of stuff that I'm interested in, and I wasn't disappointed. This place is like floor to ceiling, 30 rows of cabinets just absolutely rammed full of vintage kaiju, full of Kamen Rider, which is another really popular Japanese TV show like Ultraman. We've got everything that I could possibly want to see in one store, and it's only like the 2nd or 3rd day. It's ridiculous, and there's so many cool one-off items. They had some, like, they must have been like 40 inches tall Kamen Rider dolls that were just like fucking awesome. They've got like original Godzilla masks from the movie. They've got Ultraman masks and Kamen Rider helmets, Super Sentai helmets. Just so much cool stuff in there. I'm trying to film everything. I'm trying to take it all in. A lot of the time when I'm looking for vintage kaiju, I don't really care like what they're worth. Sometimes I don't even know what show they're from. I just know when I look at them that I want to bring them home. It's really odd in this particular Mandarake to see all of the stock because there's so much of it, and they're rammed together so tight and in plastic bags that like the glare from the lights makes it sometimes impossible to even see what they are. So it helps a lot to grab a helper and just ask them to open the cabinet and let you have a look. But I picked up a nice colourful Sahila from Ultraman, also a Gomez, and I got a nice Kamen Rider Stronger. I saw a nice big Kamen Rider Stronger in the cabinet, so I brought that home. I also got a nice Gigan from Godzilla, another really nice colourful kaiju. So I had a few nice things in my possession that I was walking out with. So I'm at the till buying my stuff, and I noticed something else out of the corner of my eye.
Something else I like.
And it's a juspion kids costume, like what a little child would wear, but it's on the card with all the header card and the graphics, and it looks awesome. So I took that home as well. So I ended up with a really nice haul from Mandarake, the first visit, the first of many, obviously. Another place that I really wanted to check out in Akihabara is a shop called Golden Age Toys. Now, at the time when I was looking for it, I didn't know what it was called. I just knew that I'd been here 3 years ago, So it took me quite a while to actually find the shop, because when I went before we didn't have Google Maps. So I'm walking around trying to find this place, going around Akihabara, going down little alleyways and things trying to find it, and then when I eventually do find it, it's closed. So I'm like, I'll come back tomorrow. I came back tomorrow, the day after, and it would just shut every time, and I'm like, please don't say this shop's going to be shut while I'm here, because it's a really, really good place to pick things up. Luckily, on like the 4th or 5th or 6th day or something, I went to check it randomly and it was open. This place is like a fucking jumble sale. There's just stuff piled on top of each other. There's something stuck and rammed in every single little nook and cranny. So it's exactly the kind of place that I can do some digging. And I like the high-end shops like Mandarake, where stuff's displayed nice and almost museum-like, but I also like the ones where I can just dive in like Scrooge McDuck and find some treasure. So straight away in this shop I walk in and I see some Shonen Cyborg figures, and I really love this line. They're very hard to find in England and America and other places in the world, like but in Japan they're a lot easier to come by. So what would normally cost like £100+ each in the box, I got for like £50 each, and he did me a deal because I bought a load of stuff. So it was like a wicked first find when I went in. So I got 2 of those boxed. I also got a Kamen Rider Sky Rider on the card. I also got an Ultraman 7 on the card as well. So in the packet bagged up, so there were 2 nice things. I picked up a couple of other little bits, including a Gamera. And this Gamera is like one of the old ones where you can see that a dude's actually sculpted this. It's still got his thumbprint stuck in it and things. So it's a really nice piece, knowing that some cool Japanese guy actually made this. And I also got, while I was looking round, because basically I've got eyes like a hawk when it comes to toy hunting. Like, I don't leave any stone unturned, so I'm looking in every little corner of the shop, looking in places that people have probably not looked in for 10 years, behind big dusty boxes and things like that. And I see sticking out the corner of a cabinet behind a ton of other toys, just the corner of a card that looked interesting. So I asked the dude if he could pull it out and let me have a look, and he pulls out a vintage Milmascaris on the card. A toy that's, I mean, this cabinet's probably not been open for like 8 years or something. There's dust on it and things, and he's trying to find the key, and he eventually gets it out. But yeah, he pulls out this really sick Milmascaris. Now, I love lucha wrestling. I love luchadors. I've got a big collection of masks and things like that, and lucky for me, Japanese people love wrestling too. They've got a huge wrestling culture there, a huge love of wrestling culture, should I say. So I came out with a wicked Milmascaris figure.
Just outside Golden Age in Akihabara, and I always come here. Like, he has the sickest stuff. His whole shop is set out like a jumble sale. You have to proper duck and dive and weave to try and find the cool stuff, even though it's full of cool stuff. But like, I pulled out some nice bits, including, not even a Japanese toy, a Mexican Milmascaris figure. Fucking awesome. I love that lucha. And then I also got some Kamen Rider, Sky Rider, Ultraman 7. Lots of cool bits and bats in there. Always check this shop out when I come. The Golden Age, one of my favourite shops in Akihabara.
And then I'm just leaving the shop, and out the corner of my eye, I clock another figure. And it's a Gokinosaurus from Spectreman. And it's one of the old ones in the box with the pull cord in the back. Sick vinyl cockroach monster kaiju that I just need in my life. I picked up the Kamen Rider one from the same series in Lulu Baloo in Paris, and that was like £100 or something, and this dude's selling me this one for £30 because the box has got a little bash on the corner. Something to look out for in Japan, which we'll talk about in later episodes, is if you get a figure that comes in a box that's got a tear on the box, or a little scuff or a bash or a cut or anything, any kind of blemish on the cardboard, they seriously reduce that stuff. Like, I were buying toys, including the Kamen Rider that I got from here, and I'd take it to the till, and they're like, oh look, it'd have like the slightest little chip on its shoulder or something of the paint, things that we wouldn't even pay attention to, and they're like, oh, you sure you want to buy it? And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, in England, we're not bothered. Like, we're just happy that we've actually found it, that we can even hold it in our hands and have the chance to buy it. I don't care if there's a little scuff on the corner. So yeah, I had a really nice haul from Golden Age Toys, and I'm really glad that like I took the time to go and find it again. It's exactly my kind of shop. Stuff just piled up all over, and a lot of American toys in there as well. So overall, a really good haul from Golden Age Toys, and it's a store that I'll continue to go back to time and time again. The guy did me a nice deal on everything, and he even threw in a couple of freebies, which you're always going to appreciate. When you walk into these shops, one of the things that's like really hard to deal with is I'm a big time toy collector, so I want to buy everything. I'm not going out here to buy stuff to sell on. I'm going out here to buy stuff for my personal collection, to make my world that bit more cooler, to make my house even that bit more full of vintage toys. So when I go into these places, instantly I'm seeing 1,000 things that I want, so you do have to have some kind of restraint and kind of narrow down specifically what you're wanting to pick up. And at the same time, I'm trying to work out if the price is good. I'm having a look on my phone to check prices, messaging other people that I know saying, do you think this is worth it? What do you reckon on these two? And then at the same time, I'm trying to cover everything for Slimehouse TV for All Figured Out episodes as well. So I'm trying to make sure that we get good coverage of the whole shop on both the GoPro and the DSLR. So yeah, man, you can imagine that when I get into these places, my mind just wants to burst. If you did enjoy this first episode, please give the video a like and subscribe to our channel, and keep a lookout for episode 2 as we check out the second Mandarake toy store on our list, Tokyo's Nakano Broadway Mall. In the meantime, why not check out some of our other content, and we'll catch you next time on Slimehouse TV, All Figured Out in Tokyo, Japan.